Hey guys, I'm back, and today I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm in shorts, and I'm gonna be comparing this Apple Watch Series 4 with this iPhone. Let's get started. Today I'll be comparing 5 things. To be fair with the Apple Watch, I'll only be comparing how well both devices can do things, rather than what features are lacking. I'll only be talking about Siri, web browsing or checking email, messaging, smart home, and find my applications. Since there's no proper way to test these, I'll be treating the Apple Watch as if for an iPhone and expect it to do the same tasks just as well. I won't be including fitness or health, as that is what the Apple Watch is made for, and we'll see if the Apple Watch can truly replace your iPhone. Siri is technically the same on both devices, so we're going to ask her to do basic tasks such as opening applications and setting reminders. Hey Siri, open settings. So the iPhone opened it up first just by a millisecond, so we'll be giving the point to the iPhone, but keep in mind that both devices opened it up quickly with almost no delay. Hey Siri, what's my latest reminder?
I found two reminders. Filmed my video today. Edit my new video.
Although the iPhone responded faster, the watch read the reminders to me, so I didn't have to focus on the small screen, so this time the point goes to the Apple Watch. Hey Siri, translate hello into Spanish.
Hola. I can answer that for you on your iPhone.
My watch wasn't able to answer that question, and although you can get a translating app, Siri itself wasn't able to translate, so the point goes to the iPhone. Hey Siri, read me my notifications.
To see your notifications, swipe down from the top of your Apple Watch base.
So when I initially tested it, my watch just continued by instructing me how to read them, while the iPhone actually read my notifications loud and clear, so the point goes to the iPhone. Hey Siri, what day will it be 556 days from now?
It's June 16th, 2020 at 10:31 p.m.
Both responded with the same answer, but Siri on the Apple Watch responded faster, and although it's not a speed test, the point will still go to the Apple Watch. The iPhone was able to beat the Apple Watch in almost every category, but the watch was still able to beat some questions with speed. So since the Apple Watch doesn't have a dedicated app for web browsing, I'll be combining the email and the web browsing section together because you can open links to the Mail app. So I preloaded the email on both devices so it'll load up quickly, but I did close the app afterwards, so this is pretty genuine. So obviously the iPhone has a larger display, but I'm really surprised that the little Apple Watch screen could show the same screen with such fine detail, and the OLED panel underneath the glass certainly helps with that. Just because how great both devices ran it, I'll be giving a point to each device. So for the web browsing part, I'll be doing 3 basic benchmarks. I'll be doing the HTML5 test to see how many points each device can get, then a frame rate test to see how each device can handle 60 frames per second, then finally a network speed test to see how fast each device can connect to the internet. So the HTML test, the Apple Watch scored a 404 while the iPhone scored a 477. Since the Apple Watch only lost points for the lack of a webcam, peer-to-peer communications, and for features the watch didn't physically have, I'll be giving points to both devices. Next is the frame rate test. And even though this doesn't really show the speed of the web browser, I'll be still using it to show the performance of each device. And both ended up achieving 60 frames per second, and that's really surprising for the Apple Watch. So again, both devices get a point. So last is the speed test. I tried a couple of times on each device, and every single time the iPhone beat the Apple Watch about 1 megabyte. I wasn't too sure about what this was measuring for because I wasn't able to use what I normally use, speedtest.net, as it just told me to download the mobile app. So since the Apple Watch fell short on this test, I'll be giving the iPhone a point, but not the Apple Watch. So both devices have a dedicated messaging app and both work with third-party apps such as Facebook Messenger, but for this test I'll be strictly using the Apple Messages app to see how easy it is to type a message, and if it's usable for typing long messages. Since the iPhone is obviously easy to type on, it'll automatically get a point for this round, but we'll see the types of ways we can message on an Apple Watch. The first is Apple's scribble feature. You write with your finger to type out each letter or symbol, and the watch will try to decipher what you wrote. It works well, and I use it for short messages, but it isn't as fast as just typing, so this doesn't get a point from me. So the next is Apple's speech recognition, which works almost 100% of the time, but it's not the best if you want to send a quick message in class or don't want anyone to notice. How are you doing today? Which leads perfectly into the third method, quick replies. Quick replies is Apple's third and last method for sending messages, and it's just a bunch of preset messages that you can press and send a message, and you don't need it to mess with any settings or type, speak, anything yourself, it just works. This works beautifully if you need to respond with a yes or no question, or maybe something that you can answer with just a few words. There's another method that isn't from Apple, but in my opinion it works better than all the previous 3 methods from Apple. This one's called flick type, and it works similarly to Apple's own keyboard on the iPhone. The way Apple's keyboard works is by predicting what word you're trying to spell, and making the most likely letters for the word a little bigger so that it's easier to press. That's why Apple's keyboards have really good accuracy and makes typing a breeze. Flick type does something similar, but instead of knowing exactly what buttons you're going to press, it gets the region of the area because the screen is so small. When you press around a T, then an H, then an E, the watch doesn't know exactly until you tap at each region, then swipe right. It shows you the word it thinks you're trying to type, and it's surprisingly accurate. This gets another point from me. Some of you might not use smart home, but if you do, having access from your wrist is something you would want and to work well. I am proud to say that if you're using this hue, it should work flawlessly with the Apple Watch app, but the only problem I found was it sometimes tends to disconnect from the hue bridge, making it unresponsive. Other than that, both devices were able to connect and control the lights, and although the extent of the control is limited, both devices get a point from me. Here's just a little demonstration on how fast it is and how responsive it is, and how both devices can work simultaneously with no problems. Everyone loses things from phones to wallets to even backpacks. The Apple devices already come with the Find My Apple product, and it works beautifully just by pinging it. But if I ever something like a tile, both devices should be able to ping it just in case I ever lose it. So while testing it, both devices acted the same. It searches for my wallet in this case, and if it's out of range, then shows it to me on a map where it was last seen. Then if it comes into close proximity, the button turns green, and I can start pinging it. The watch has a slight millisecond of delay compared to the iPhone, but it's unnoticeable and it does its job nicely. Since both devices were able to ping the wallet, I'm going to give a point to each of them. And because they're really good at working at the same time, that's just another reason for the Apple Watch. There are obviously many more things I can test and compare about these two devices, but I don't want the video to get too long, and I personally think I covered most of the important topics. In conclusion, no, your Apple Watch cannot replace your iPhone, but it sure as hell gets close. The LTE model in this case can become your phone, your music player, messaging device, and more, but for now, the Apple Watch Series 4 gets extremely close, but it's not quite there as in replacing your phone. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more comparison videos like this, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video so others can find this video as well. Bye.